Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you never have to dedicate an entire Sunday to deep cleaning again. No exhausting marathons, no dreading the state of your kitchen, no mountain of laundry silently judging you from the corner of your bedroom. It sounds impossible, right? But across Japan, in apartments smaller than most Western living rooms, families live exactly this way. Their homes stay clean not because they scrub harder, but because they've built six small habits into the rhythm of their daily lives, habits so subtle you might miss them if you weren't looking closely. Today, we're going to look closely. We're going to unpack exactly what these habits are, why they work, and how you can start using them starting tonight. Picture this. You walk through your front door after a long day. Your bag lands on the dining chair. Your jacket drapes over the couch. Your phone charger gets left plugged in wherever you last used it. None of this feels like a big deal in the moment. It's just one bag, one jacket, one charger. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Your home doesn't become messy in one dramatic moment. It becomes messy through hundreds of these tiny, I'll deal with it later decisions, stacking silently until one day you look around and wonder how everything spiraled so quickly. In Japanese households, there's an unspoken agreement with every object. You touch it once, you use it, and you return it immediately without negotiation. A used teacup goes straight to the sink. A book gets placed back on its shelf the second the chapter ends. There's no holding pattern, no temporary spot, where things wait to be dealt with eventually. This single shift, treating every object's journey as complete only when it's returned to its place, removes the slow, invisible buildup that turns a tidy home into a chaotic one within days. Try it tonight. Pick 3 things you'd normally set down for later and put them exactly where they belong instead. Notice how different your space feels tomorrow morning. Every traditional Japanese home has a small sunken space near the front door called the Genkan, where shoes come off before anyone steps further inside. It looks like nothing more than practical footwear storage, but it carries far more weight than that. This threshold marks a clear boundary. Everything from the outside world, dirt, dust, stress, noise, stops here. It doesn't get to follow you into your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom. Now think about your own front door. Do you walk straight in with your shoes on, carrying the day's tension directly onto your couch cushions? Most of us do, without ever noticing the pattern. You don't need a traditional Genkan to borrow this habit. Set up a small shoe rack, a simple mat, maybe a hook for your bag right by the entrance. Make a rule. Shoes off here, bags down here, and take one slow breath before walking further into your home. This isn't just about keeping floors clean, though it absolutely does that. It's about giving yourself a mental checkpoint, a moment where the outside world stays outside, and your home gets to remain a place of calm rather than an extension of your stressful commute. Open any random drawer in your home right now, mentally if you can't physically. What's in there? Old chargers for phones you no longer own. Plastic containers missing their lids. Gift boxes you're saving just in case. A tangle of cables you can't identify. We all have this drawer, sometimes several of them scattered throughout the house, each one quietly accumulating items we keep not because we need them, but because deciding to let go feels harder than simply closing the drawer again. Japan has a beautiful concept for addressing this called Danshari, the practice of refusing what you don't need, discarding what no longer serves you, and releasing your attachment to objects entirely. It's not about ruthless minimalism or throwing away anything with sentimental value. It's about asking each object one honest question. Is this still part of my life today? If yes, it earns its place and gets cared for properly. If no, it's thanked for its service and let go, donated, recycled, or discarded, rather than left to occupy space and silently demand attention it no longer deserves. Try this today. Open just one drawer. Ask that question to everything inside it. And notice how much lighter both the drawer and your mind feel afterward. Most of us have turned cleaning into an event, something we schedule, dread, and endure once a week in one exhausting sweep. But Japanese households rarely experience this kind of overwhelming cleaning day because they've replaced it with something far smarter: tiny, seconds-long actions woven throughout the day. The counter gets wiped the moment breakfast ends. The sink gets rinsed the second dishes are used. A stray hair on the bathroom floor gets picked up in passing, without a second thought. None of these actions individually feel significant. 20 seconds here, 15 seconds there, it barely registers as cleaning at all. But added together across an entire day, these micro-actions prevent mess from ever accumulating into something that requires hours to fix. This is the compound interest of cleanliness. Small, consistent deposits that eventually make the big, dreaded cleaning day completely unnecessary. Start noticing the small messes throughout your day: a splash on the counter, a cup left on the table, and handle each one in the moment it happens, rather than letting it wait for cleaning day to arrive. Have you ever spent 10 frantic minutes searching for your keys right when you're already running late? That frustration isn't really about the keys. It's about the fact that your keys don't have one fixed, permanent home. In Japan, this problem gets solved with a simple but strict principle. Every single object gets one specific place, and it always returns there, no exceptions. This isn't about buying more storage bins or elaborate organizational systems. It's about deciding, once and clearly, exactly where each category of item lives, and then honoring that decision every single time. The remote always sits on the same shelf. Keys always hang on the same hook. Mail always lands in the same tray. When everything has an assigned address, there's no more wandering, no more searching, and no more clutter forming from items that never had anywhere specific to go in the first place. Pick one object you frequently misplace and give it one fixed home today. Walk into a Japanese apartment, and you'll notice something unusual. The floors are almost entirely clear, and the walls do far more of the visual work. Hooks hold kitchen tools. Hanging organizers manage closet space. Vertical storage replaces horizontal clutter. And more importantly, not every empty surface gets filled with decoration, plants, or objects just because the space exists. This reflects a deeper Japanese design principle called ma, the beauty of empty space, the idea that what's left open is just as important as what's placed intentionally. We tend to feel like every empty shelf needs decoration. But Japanese homes teach us that breathing room isn't wasted space. It's what allows a home to actually feel calm rather than crowded. Try leaving one surface in your home intentionally empty this week, and notice how much more spacious the entire room feels as a result. None of these 6 habits require money, extra time, or dramatic lifestyle change. They require only a shift in how you interact with your space, moment by moment, object by object. Choose just one to start tonight, and watch how quietly, effortlessly, your home begins to change.